Fast, exciting, edible. The boom in game shooting is putting pheasants on tables throughout the UK. Supermarkets are selling it, food banks are providing it. Now one man is looking at a market for all 30 million that we shoot.
We could use absolutely every pheasant in this country and every partridge and still not really dent the surface of the poverty.
The Country Food Trust now has ambitions to sell direct to some of the biggest catering markets in the country in order to raise funds for its core work.
The Country Food Trust was started in 2015 with a really simple idea. It's to take pheasants, turn them into delicious meals and feed them to people in need. So we've been doing that for, as I say, 5 years now, and we've fed over 535,000 people.
What made you decide to choose pheasants as a food source?
I think pheasant is really good, nutritious meat. It's got less fat in it than a lot of other meats. And I think a lot of people in the food banks have talked to us and said we're looking for something different, a little bit more different to some of the traditional meats they were getting.
The Country Food Trust works with organisations across the country like this one, Haven, the Homeless and Vulnerable Outreach Network.
There'll be about a team of 3 or 4 here. They'll be here prepping, whether it's donations or whether we've been to Tesco's the night before. Then we'll get there for about 6 o'clock. We'll then start serving coffee and teas from the burger van. Food will be out for about 6:30 and we'll be there till about 8, 9 just talking with people, having some coffee, some food.
At the moment we've got Karen who's cutting hair in the background, and just behind that wall there's a chiropodist and she's doing foot care because a lot of the homeless guys and a lot of the guys that come here have got problems with their feet from the way that they're living, so that's nice. We get donations. A lot of them gone out now, but people donate sanitary items for the ladies. We've got deodorant, cleaning stuff, wash packs. We've got the occasional sleeping bag that we give out to rough sleepers if they're in a dire need for it. So we've got all sorts going on.
Ricky, what made you want to start it up?
I was homeless for a long time myself when I was younger. I was in and out of prison, had bad drug problems, sleeping rough for like 1.5 years. Sorted my life out quite a while ago, joined the forces, done 10 years in the forces, came back to the area, and just, I thought that I'd always sort of thought to myself at some point I'm going to have to put something back into society. And then I put a little post on Facebook asking whether anybody wanted to help me set anything up, and somebody got in touch, and then we slowly but surely started Haven, and we're still going.
Haven relies solely on donations and receives no public funding. And for the last few months, the Country Food Trust has been supplying the charity with easy-to-cook meals served from a borrowed food truck on a car sales forecourt. More than 8.4 million people in the UK are classed as living in food poverty, which makes soup kitchens, much like this one here in Yeovil, an essential resource.
Well, my wife brought me over here from Bermuda, and we've been living over here since '85, and we got divorced about 10 years ago, and I've been on my own since then, but we're still good friends.
And what does it mean for you to be able to come somewhere like this and have some hot food?
A lot. I'm down on my luck, but it won't be for long because I will have some money, but right now I'm down on my luck. And so a hot meal, it's not every day, but it helps. It all adds up,
And what do you think of the pheasant?
Excellent.
Didn't even know it was pheasant, to tell you the truth.
What do you think it could have been?
Well, I just thought it was chicken curry. But it's nice. Tastes good, definitely, yeah.
Great.
I didn't know you could do a pheasant like that. So yeah, definitely worth doing again. Yeah, definitely.
Part of this is to prevent footage like this, filmed by animal rights activists, which took place last year in Leicestershire, even though these birds turned out to have been breasted.
There's an enormous amount of people that we have to feed. So yes, we could use absolutely every pheasant in this country and every partridge and still not really dent the surface of the poverty. I've never done the maths. It is 8.4 million people, let's assume that, and they need to be fed once a day, at the bare minimum. But approximately speaking, it costs us somewhere around £1 a meal that we donate to people in need. So let's say there's 8.4 million. If you gave me 8.4 million pounds, I'd feed everybody once a year.
The Country Food Trust is not the first or even the only agency to market game. Basque has Taste of Game, the Countryside Alliance has Game to Eat, and both of them back the British Game Alliance. As well as providing recipes, these concentrate on selling to supermarkets and teaching catering students how to cook game. Thanks to them, more and more people are buying game, but still only 1 in 6 of the British public. We take to the streets of Salisbury to see what appetite there is for game meat pasties and sausage rolls from Wild and Game.
It's quite nice actually. Just tastes like normal other kind of types of meat. You wouldn't think that it's like pheasant.
Yeah. Taste approval.
Yep, it's very nice.
What does it taste like?
Quite solid. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's nice.
I like the pastry, it's nice and light. Very nice, thank you.
The next step for the Country Food Trust is to sell its products direct to the biggest catering markets in the country, feeding schools, the military, prisons and hospitals. This will raise funds to enable them to produce more for those in need. The problem is money. Do you think that the government could be doing more?
I'm not doing that question.
For more about the Country Food Trust, visit thecountryfoodtrust.org, and for Wild and Game's range of game meat pasties, sausage rolls and much more, go to wildandgame.co.uk.